is going to be very different. I'm going to be ruffling some feathers that I am truly, truly nervous to ruffle. Um, a lot of people know I'm so nervous. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I am so nervous. I'm so nervous. But I got a fighter spirit in me. So the message say we're going to talk about the prison system. Now, from a lot of different information that I have been putting together and what I shouldn't do. So this is going to be part one, and then tomorrow is going to be part two. But what I want, and I want to make sure I get it in my intro. I honestly believe that President Trump is going to win, and only dealing with this matter, President Trump, he's the only person that can help this individual that I'm talking about. I don't really know why, or maybe she was a little bit scared to dive into it, and that's Kim Kardashian. Um, Kim Kardashian has been helping a lot of, well, sort of a couple men who have been incarcerated, and she have been helping these men get out of jail. Now, the young man that I'm going to be talking about and how I came about it was because first and foremost, I was going through fentanyl, how the fentanyl come about, when did it come about, where was it being made, how did it come in this country, and the effects that fentanyl have done to the people in United States of America. And then for some weird reason, I stumbled across the prison system. Um, how many prisons and jails and local jails that are housed in the United States of America, the money that is being made off inmates, how much money it actually costs for the government to provide services for inmates, how much it costs for just for them to house death row inmates. And then I also came across the number of jails that are just throughout the United States of America. Then I also came across the juveniles, how many juvenile centers that they have, and the age limit. So this is how I came across Edwin Miller. Now, this is why I said that President Trump, he is the only person that's going to need you to help him be released. And I'm ruffling some feathers in Alabama. They're not going to like this, but I'm definitely putting it on my Twitter, and I'm definitely going to tag Donald Trump in it, because what I don't understand is, well, I do, because I was digging into it. So as it states that a juvenile, he can be locked up from the age of 12. Now, during this process, when it's relating to the severity of the crime that can penalize a juvenile to also be sent to life in prison, or also be the limitations of them also getting sent to death. Now, what happened with Edward Miller is that he committed a crime during the borderline of him being the age, which he was 14. Now, through the his great, but I'm gonna help his defense team, because I'm gonna keep digging into it. So, oh my God, I'm ruffling feathers. What I don't understand is through Edwin Miller, how was other people who were already sentenced to life in prison already released? How is it because of his case study, which his case study has been studied and dissected, and different reforms have been made off of his case, but why haven't Mr. Miller been released. This is why I think that he's not going to be released, because of this case file is so, it's going to be so uh the broad of it is going to be broadcasted on every channel. It's going to uncover a whole bunch of other foul things within just the judge making his decision, which I really didn't understand, because if it already got overturned, but then the Supreme Court said that, still on the flip side, the decision that the judge is going to make, it really doesn't have to fall and play on the decision that it should have been taken care of. But this case is the most, I like it. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's very interesting, and I like it a lot. What I don't like is that a lot of people, even to the fact there was a other gentleman, he was like 14 and he got arrested, but they also sent him to jail. But this man did 66 years and they released him back out into society when he was 82. And guess why that happened? Because of Mr. Miller. Mr. Trump, I really would like for you to definitely to look into this, because for one, you are a person who has been dealt within the filthiness within the system of just the proceedings. Oh, I'm getting chills. The decision, and you just being targeted. And why I'm saying that is because, for one, I feel like when you are being made an example, or you can be an example to why the flaws within the system are so messed up, and you will have somebody that come and bring light to it, or you can be released because of the neglect of the system, then you will become the most powerful person on the planet. And he's definitely, after they overturned it, so what happened was, since they found part of his case unconstitutional, they changed it and just gave him life without parole. So they still dicked him on the end. What they should have gave him, they should have gave him 25 years to life, but because of the severity and of the what's the word I'm looking for? The exposure of it, they still had to give him the back burner life without parole. This is very interesting. So as of this moment, even though it was overturned, he do have his counsel that's still putting in the appeal. Now, what I can say to him, everybody know you get 3 appeals. So what I would keep doing, I would keep putting in the appeals, but on this side, I'm gonna figure it out, because of, it's a whole bunch of ways that they can write it up to bring it back before the Supreme Court. They could say that from the decision that the judge made is still going against the constitutional amendment of just putting it forth where being at a certain age. And they can also go because of the length of the time, because he can get, added, and then it can be a whole bunch of different ways. After he's go back and he go to trial, even if they wanted to still technically be petty, they could still also put something on a back burner where he still will be able to do about maybe 10 more years on parole, which it sucks. It's terrible. It would be a terrible deal. Would then also infiltrate within the 10 years of him being on parole just a whole bunch of more classes, if he already didn't take the classes that he needed to take while he was in prison. That's why a lot of people don't know, and that's why they always kind of wait on their back burner of their bid to start taking all of these rehabilitation classes that they have, so when they're coming up to the board, they will be able to get released. That's why you have a lot of people who are incarcerated. I feel like between the first of 2 to 3 years, they're just in there just trying to find their way. They're probably getting into a whole bunch of activities. They're not really interested in really doing all of these different rehabilitation programs to make the system, because it's all about, and I shouldn't say it like this, but it's all about satisfying the system when you are in the system. And when you position yourself and you're coming up for parole and you don't have that on the back burner, then they would deny you. And then when you come back and then you tell other people who are, because they've been here so long, they self-taught themselves a whole bunch of laws, and they know different procedures. And this is why when people go back up for their second parole hearing, a lot of people are also granted the access to be able to come home because they satisfied the system. Yo, I'm gonna dig into this. I like this. And I just want to be very careful on what I say, because I don't want to give too much information out for when I do get into it and when I do dissect it and when I do go to either Columbia or I do go to NYC to go to the law library to be able to dissect the different caseloads. That's why when they sending you to go to law school and all that other stuff, you have to learn the different caseloads so you can be able to represent a certain case. That's why I always say it depends on the way that you are going to represent yourself. That's why I always say, that's why they say, what's the open argument? Right? When your attorney's going up, it's almost kind of like you're writing an essay. You're preparing the bullet points that you are going to represent to the courts and to your peers of 12. That's why it's very important that when you are going to trial, you have to pick the 12 juries that are on there that are going to be very lenient and understanding to the caseload that's being presented in front of them. And this is why you will have the prosecutors, because their job is to not agree and kind of get the people that they want on their side so they can get the verdict that they're looking for. Damn. But yes, yo, the government, y'all are crazy. Just the average money off of one inmate every year, and it's so crazy because the people who founded it, they're in Nashville, they're down south, and it's like a non-profit, but they're in charge of leasing, owning. They're even in charge of the immigrant prisons and stuff like that. Yo, this is crazy. So definitely within this whole new within the new administration or whoever, they really need to dig a little bit deeper, and they really need to, especially our House representative dealing with the Democrats and the Republicans, need to come together and be able to make a new bill where they put strong policies and procedures so one policy can't overlap the other. And that's what's going on with Mr. Miller. One policy states this, but then on the other side, it also say that it holds no merit. And that doesn't make any sense. Especially because this man has been in jail for a long time. And because he was 14, and because he stated that he was sexually abused by his stepfather. And what's so funny is down there in Alabama, Alabama and the laws and the policy and procedures, they can still do a lot of different things that a lot of different states can't do. And this is why you have the highest rate and different things that go on behind the jail system, because I feel like it's still like Jim Crow and shit, dealing with a lot of different legal procedures and policy procedures and how they handle especially Black and Latino people dealing with just a Caucasian person. Because what was so very mind-boggling to me is that throughout the prison system, black men are the highest percentage in jail. Black females are the highest percentage in jail. Juveniles, black juveniles are the highest percentage in jail. And that's crazy. Yes.
Is there more vinegar?
Yeah, it's in the bathroom. I got it in the bathroom over there.
No, I'm talking about, is there another bottle?
No, that's the only vinegar that I have. Hold on, let me finish this. Go ahead.
I was about to experiment.
No, experiment over there. I'm trying to finish talking about something. But yeah. And what's so crazy is through what did it say? Throughout the United States of America have the highest jail rate, and I understand why. Because it's the biggest propaganda, it's the biggest I say payout. The more people that they have in jail, the more money that they're going to keep receiving. And it's crazy. So they are rather, that's why you don't really have that many people on death row, because it costs a little bit more money to take care of them and to house them. So that's why you will have a lot of people that's just being sent life in prison without parole, because it's a lot cheaper to house them. Yo, that's crazy. And then when I also found out, it was a black young man. He was the youngest to ever be convicted, and he was also the youngest to ever be killed. That's why they reinstated a new law that when you're dealing with the age limit of just kids that are committing these murders and stuff like that, that you cannot kill them at a certain age. You have to wait. But they still left a clause within it, and that clause need to be fixed. And because of Evan Miller's, he is the clause that's missing, and there's going to be a lot of controversy over that. And I don't understand why they didn't overturn it, but I understand, because he's already the blueprint. But when he gets released, and that's why they're not trying to release him, is because dealing with Alabama and shit that go on down there, it's like, okay, if some shit like that can be overturned with him, then they can overturn a lot of shit that we are doing to incarcerate a lot of people who are in the Alabama system. So this is why I'm going to keep saying Donald Trump is the only person that can pardon him. And if Donald Trump pardoned him, oh my God, talking about press cover, talking about a whole bunch of other different things that are going to be rattled. See, when people are coming along and you're rattling shit, just like I am, that's why I said I was a little bit nervous, because this is definitely ruffling feathers, and that's what I do. See, one thing about me, I stand on real law. I stand on the way and the principles that the Constitution of America is supposed to be. And if we are coming along and we're saying that we are a country that's supposed to live by the laws that were already written, and let me tell you something, it's a lot of pro quo shit that's written within the Constitution, that's written in the amendments, and it's a lot of different things that need to be tweaked, and there's a lot of different things that need to be changed. But if you don't have people who are not aware, and they don't have the strength to actually dig into it, then you will never have these things even looked at or even considered being changed. Hold on one second. Let me see one second. Do you think a defendant is better off going to trial or taking a plea? Taking a plea to black. Okay. Now, first and foremost, everybody know, like, when you're going to trial, they're supposed to give you 3 pleas, right? Now, dealing with the realization of just dealing with the whole court system, which is so messed up, if you don't have a good paying lawyer, and even that, it depends on how hungry the paralegal and the investigation team is. Because the only thing that I'm doing as your lawyer, I'm just presenting you what my paralegal and my investigating team has picked up to find. Now, you have a lot of lawyers who are righteous lawyers, and then you have a lot of lawyers who just do what they do, and they're good at doing what they do. You know what I mean? So it all depends on, even, and that's why I say on the flip side, sometimes it depends if you have a good public defender who actually gives a shit about just the system in general, or you just have another public defender that just looks at you as a case log and they just want to get you out. Now, I knew somebody who had a public defender and they was looking at 60 years. They took it to trial and they beat it. But only why I'm saying they beat it was because they had a good attorney. So it depends on if you already know, and this is what I said, if you already looking or you already been incarcerated for at least, because sometimes it depends on how long they have you there. It depends on how long the case log is. It depends on how long your trial date is. That's why some people ask for a speedy trial. If you ask for a speedy trial, they're just going to send you in. You're just going to get the answer. But if you was to wait a little bit, on the flip side, and a lot of people don't like to wait, all of that time is being credited to whenever the judge feel like you have satisfied the time of just being incarcerated. So since you have did 4 years, and for instance, I was giving you 7 to 3, you're just going to have to do the rest on parole. So it depends on the plea deal. It depends on some shit that you actually know what the fuck you done did. If you know you did some shit, and whatever the situation may be, and they giving you a 10, and these motherfuckers is telling you, if you go to trial and you lose, guaranteed I'm gonna give you 25 to 30, then goddamn it, I'm taking the 10 all day and I'm riding out with it. But it comes tricky when you are dealing with when you have co-defenders. A co-defender is somebody who did some shit with you, and 9 out of 10, it matters how much you and your co-defender is riding along with each other. That's why when you're dealing with a different certain things, it depends how much you trust your co-defender. And usually 9 out of 10, they don't know shit. They don't know shit. That's why it's called interrogation. They're interrogating you to see what you know, and depending on the questions that they're asking you in the interrogation room will let you know how much shit they know and what they don't know. And the first thing they're going to do is convince you that somebody in the next room is telling everything. And 9 out of 10, your man's in the next room, he holding it down solid. But because these people have convinced you, or maybe said something a little bit, an inkling to make you believe that they know a little bit, or he told some shit on you, this is why you're folding, and this is why you're about to take both of your ass down, and it does not make sense. It does not make sense when you rat. I'm just saying. I understand the severity of it, but even though when you're still behind bars is a whole nother different lifestyle. Depending on what you're going to jail, and if you're a high paid, well, not high paid, but a high profile witness, shit, it's a wrap. It is a wrap. And then 9 out of 10 just dealing with a lot of different things. That's why people be put underneath investigation. They're putting you under investigation because they already have an inkling that you are doing something. So what are they going to do? They might do a 6 months investigation. They might do a 12 months investigation just to put the pieces in. That's why you will have a lot of informants, or you will have people who are informants, and then you become into your organization. When you start to network and you start to have a whole bunch of different things, then you're really not going to know who's telling, because you have so many people across the board where it's bound to break. And that's why today, I hate to throw y'all up in there, the Italian mafia, sorry guys, do not fuck with people from America, because they're not as silent. It's already proven that you people break. Different organizations. That's why I always say, now I'm going on the flip side. Everybody is not meant to be a part of certain things. I don't give a shit how long you knew your man. It's just something about it. And if you feel some type of way, then buddy, you're out the door. Just dealing with a whole bunch of different things. And I'm just being real. And this is just how the law works. And what's so funny is that's why you have a lot of black men. The system is already designed like that to keep you in jail. To they tell you that you can bail out, and then when they do the flipped eye, they be like, oh, you just got a $1 bill. It's like, what the fuck? I could bail on a $1 bill. No, you can't, because it's a clause within that. And that's why it's just a whole bunch of different things. And that's why they have different protocols where you have to show assets. You have to show this. You have to show that before I can even come to bail you out, because of the different people who have been jumping bail and jumping bail and jumping bail, or because of the way that different things have been moved around. So they want to make sure that when we're putting you back out here, that's why you think P. Diddy is not being released because he is a threat to his accusers. That's why right now his attorney is petitioning, and he is putting in documentation, because now he wants to know who his accusers is. The biggest weapon that they can do, the attorney general or whoever the prosecutor handling his case, is to keep the identify, what's the word, the keep the secrets of who all the accusers are, because he has money, he have the resources to, even though he might not say he's going to do that, he still can. That's why they don't want him to harass or threaten the witnesses. So right now, definitely, this is why they're going to keep him behind bars, because they need to keep him behind bars, because no matter what, he's still a threat. How matter he want, P. Diddy is not getting out of jail. He's not. I don't even care if they even say that they want to offer him house arrest, they want to offer him this, they want to offer him that. The way that the prosecutor is presenting it, and because of it's so many new allegations, even if the allegations are not correct, he's already doomed. He's just going to have to sit there. He's going to sit there and dealing up what he really do know, and because of the high profile people who he really is connected to, it's two things why a lot of different things really didn't happen to him. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a whole different ramification on that, and then it goes into play too. You have to, now they're gonna have the argument. The biggest argument for him is going to be because of what I do in my bedroom and how I do it, why is that the biggest threat? Because of my sex life. So this is why they're throwing in sex trafficking. Sex trafficking is when you're taking different people from different places, even if you're flying their ass from out of the country. This is what gave the federal agencies the permission to step in and make it a federal case, because once people start saying that you're taking people from out of state and you're doing a lot of different things, it put that clause on it. P. Diddy not going nowhere. P. Diddy know too much. They know that nigga know too much. My thing is, because of what happened to Epstein, because they did what they did, or whatever the situation may be, they not going to do that to him. They're going to have to really be very slick and minute. Now, I think he might get some motherfucking time. He might get some time. He might just going to have to sit down for a minute. As much as he don't want to sit down for a minute. But let me tell you, whenever his ass do come out, and if he do come out, and this is why they're worried, because they know if he do come out, he's going to be a ignorant son of a bitch. And only why I say that is because even if they did know or whatever, that it really wasn't like that, P. Diddy had a lot of people shun him. P. Diddy had a lot of people walk away from him. And that shit hurt. Especially if it was for a lot of people who you really thought was your people. Or especially for a lot of people who already knew what they signed up for, and now they're trying to get over because you have 20 and 15 other people accusing me of some shit, and you want to jump on the bandwagon. He's going to be very upset. And if I was in his predicament, whatever the situation may be, the scenario of it, and I knew I ain't do no shit, and yeah, it looked fucked up and it looked crazy, and then you telling me y'all niggas just dubbed me because of who you are, your status, your money, or whatever, and you know this shit, I would feel some type of way too. But that's the system, and I always say, no matter what, how it's looking towards him or whatever, it's always somebody that's a little bit more worse than him. It's always somebody that's doing 10 times more than what the fuck he was doing. But you know, he's just like the fall guy. You always gotta have somebody that's falling. And I'm surprised they didn't really go after anybody else that, well, so they saying, that's really connected to him, like a personal assistant or whoever. Because that's what happened to Epstein. They went after who he was connected to. So however he did it, or maybe the government feel like they really don't have that much interest, or maybe they do, and because they have to move very carefully, they're really not talking about it. Or maybe it is somebody that know, but they secretly, you know, behind the scenes, and they know something and they don't want to be revealed yet. Everything and everybody's still gonna have to be there is no secret. It's no secret to the victims. Once this nigga go to trial by law, you're gonna have to come on and you're gonna have to testify, and this man's gonna have to know who you are. You're just playing you're playing with time. You only have time. That's all that it is. And the biggest person who I respect the most is Orlando Brown. He said it the best. As much as y'all be thinking that this nigga's a little bit crazy or whatever, yo, he said it the best. It's a lot of people that will do a lot of crazy, kinky, weird shit for money and for fame. And if you're dealing with somebody and you're saying this, that, and the third, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you that. You just got to be down with a lot of different shit. You know what it was to get what you want. It's just, unfortunately, however, because I don't know if that shit is true with that man. It's just that a lot of people had to do a whole bunch of other shit that they didn't like. And they knew his preference. They knew what he liked. So is he really at fault because they really knew what he liked? The only thing that where he fucked up at really, really bad was beating Cassie up. And like I always say before, this shit was happening with her for a very long time. You can see by all the Met Galas, the recent Met Galas and shit that they've been showing on TV. You can see by just her body language is, or it's one clip and when he like, yo, look at the camera, she turned and she looked. She was already there. She was accustomed, but she stayed because she loved the money. She stayed because she loved her name. She stayed because she loved a lot of shit that she was getting profiting off of him. But even after a while, people get tired of just going through what she went through. So, you know, that just lets me know, even though she did that whole secrecy of just selling out on a lawsuit, she already had the heads up that these niggas was even coming after him. So let me go ahead, let me do this lawsuit right now. Let me get my money right now. And like I said before, they lied and they said that they wasn't going to expose this, they wasn't going to expose that. And then once they had all the shit that they had, that she got from out of whatever agreement that she wasn't supposed to be revealed or whatever, this is what opened up Pandora's box. And this is why either her or whoever that had that video, do you know how long they had that motherfucking video of P. Diddy beating up Cassie? Whoever had that video for a very long time. And that shit was strategically planned for them to drop that shit on him the way that they dropped it. Because that shit was old. She haven't been with him for a very long time. And you can only imagine when that shit actually happened. Now dealing with the process, the man servant guy who did the whole interview with Diddy and all of that other shit. Only why he told her something like that, it looked like because the nigga was already in jail on the charge anyway. So he just probably had credible information or whatever the situation may be to give the authority. You know how long they had that fucking tape and that guy actually saying all of that? All of that shit really didn't come out until later on. So why wasn't all of these videos, and this is what I would say if I was his attorney, why wasn't all of these videos already dropped at a certain point of time? Why is it now just being dropped from my client now of the height of him being accused of all of these accusations? Because right now it's supposed to be you are not guilty until proven guilty. And they're treating him like a guilty man. It's a whole bunch of shit that's going on. Yo, the system is crazy when you're dealing with a whole bunch of different powerful people within the system or whatever. and whatever shit that you got going on or whatever, either you're going to break the system, or either you're trying to join the system. So if you're joining the system, you've been there, you got a little money, you got a little wealth, and then you forgot who put you there. You think that you're bigger than the system that allowed you to put there. Then what we're going to do, we're going to sit you the fuck down, and we're going to let you know that you don't run nothing. I run everything. Oh, you think? That's like the biggest thing ever. Compared to what Dr. What's name was saying, something about he was supposed to be in a contract with a very prestigious company brand, and he went in and he didn't like the deal or whatever, and then all of a sudden he felt like it came from them. When you're dealing with different powerful horsemen, you gotta really know. You're never really bigger than something that has been designed, especially if you're a black man dealing within this different clause of a different elite of people, because it is an elite of people. It is a system, and you have to know how to play the rules. And if you don't know how to play the rules, then don't get your ass there. And if you are breaking the law and you're doing a lot of different things, don't put yourself in a system where the system has already been designed for a very long time to stay that way. And because now who you are, you feel like you're going to come in and change what we built, what we say that's going on. Even though it might could be turned over, there's a slim chance, and this is what's happening with Miller. There's no way that because of him, a lot of different amendments, a lot of different policy and procedures been changed, but still in a way, they still won't release him. But you release other people who have been incarcerated off almost on the same charge. It's because if he get released, he's breaking the system, or he's breaking something that already been in protocol in Alabama. Yo, my name is Angel. I always like coming here. I'm very different. I stand on for a lot of different things. And my mindset and the way that I am, I work totally different. So President Trump, if you see this message, especially when you see it in the beginning, like I said before, you are the only person that can free this man. And since you're getting into office, and because you have dealt with part of the system trying to fuck you over and try to humiliate you and just and mess up your character, then only you are the one that should be able to go in there and fix the system, so the system can be fixed right. Because I really hate when you have a lot of innocent people who are being sent to jail for shit that they have not done. And also they're being sent to jail for a very lengthy time because they don't have the right representative that's representing them in court. And because you have another system or somebody, which is very tricky, always trying to make an example out of you. So you just being a cautious person, just dealing with everything across the board, you always have to be very cautious the way that you do things. And I'm I feel some type of way that Kim Kardashian really didn't jump on, and maybe she don't know about it, or maybe she's scared to touch it, or maybe she's just not that good. And maybe the people who she be hiring on the flip side to get all of these people out of jail, maybe they're just not that good as well. My name is Angel. I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. It's a lot of different things that need to be changed, especially dealing with within the prison system, dealing with a lot of different laws and different things that are going on, dealing with a lot of different abuse that's happening with people. I'm dealing to a lot of sexual abuse that's happening, especially with the men, especially with the younger kids who are turning over being 18 and they're being in jail, and they're being raped and all types of stuff, and also dealing with the girls as well. So you guys, you be blessed, and I'm happy, and I'm gonna make sure I do a part 2. And I'm definitely going to dig into it. So Alabama, I'm so sorry you're not going to like this upload. But this is something that definitely needs to be worked upon. And it's probably a lot of different other cases just regarding a lot of men that's in Alabama, and probably through a lot of different other states, that a lot of different cases need to be looked into. But because a lot of people, because of their case and how it's going at it, even Master P brother, all of his shit that's going on, a lot of stuff that happened with him. You know, these men are being caught up in some shit that they don't even know, and because of that, they don't deserve that. Nobody deserves to be an example of the system. But I understand it, and it sucks, and it's fucked up. But hey, that's why you gotta have a lot of people who are equipped, and they're not scared, even though they know the sincerity. Even me, I know the fucking sincerity. I'm opening up the devil's door, but I don't know. Everybody's just not like me, so let me go. Until next time, I see you guys tomorrow with part 2. Just the prison system within the United States of America, dealing with that a lot of prisoners are just money tags. They're worth money. Every prisoner within the United States of America is worth money. And how the hell do they have private prisons? I don't understand that. It's a difference. They have private prisons and then they have public prisons. So, yo, when it goes deep within the system. If you don't know, you need to know. If you don't know, then you need to research it and be a little bit aware. And I don't know what's going on with all of you attorneys or a lot of you representatives. Maybe you're not as good as you say that you are. Until next time, I'm going.